One moment in time can change a life forever. That happened to Becky Wheeler, who is here with us today on this Wish Wednesday, along with Billy Joe Zielinski, President and CEO of Make-A-Wish North Dakota, to talk about Emma and her wish of Thanksgiving. Both of you, thank you so much for joining us today. And I want to start, Becky, with you right away. Sorry that Emma can't be here with us today.
Thank you.
But let's tell Emma's story.
So Emma was 14 and freshman in high school. We were at Bismarck, North Dakota at the time, and she loved Legacy High. She was super excited about it. And so as we were preparing the summer of 2017 for her to go to high school, she came down with mono. And we were told to let it run its course. So like every mom and dad, we just let it run its course. And one morning she woke up and she was blind, and she said, "Mom, I can't see." So we took her to the hospital in Bismarck and then transported to Fargo a few days later, where she was diagnosed with a very rare blood disease called hemophagocytic lymphohistiocytosis. They told us we had good news and bad news because it wasn't cancer, but it is worse. So Emma's journey began on September 21st of 2017, and we stayed in the hospital the entire time. We had a shaving party, we had nail parties, we did everything that we possibly could. And then things took a turn. And we were life flighted to Minneapolis on November 8th. And in 2 years tomorrow, she moved to heaven. And that is Emma's journey.
So sorry.
Thank you.
Everything happened very, very fast. I would imagine it's one of those where sometimes the days are long, but the weeks are short. I mean, we weren't talking a very long period of time here.
No, 55 days. So I talk about that there's no time clock. You know, there might be one up on the wall that says it's time for a med or it's time for this, but there's really no defined 8-hour day. There's no defined schedule. You do life any minute that you can and while you have it.
Talk a little bit about Make-A-Wish and your connection with Make-A-Wish.
So Make-A-Wish, Emma was excited about that. So we really weren't involved with Make-A-Wish at the time. Again, a lot of other decisions that we were trying to make, not talk about, well, what could we do when you got better? What could we do to help you with your journey to stay better, you know, and to create that energy of doing something that she could hold on to and be excited to go and do. So we explored together before we even knew anything about if we were going to be granted a wish. And I got a call about the first week in November saying, we want to come and grant Emma's wish. And so I kept it a really down low, kind of a secret, and it was scheduled for November 9th. And on November 8th, when we were life flighted, I had to make the call to say, we won't be able to surprise Emmy. We have to go to Minneapolis. Well, inside her journey, I knew that there still needed to be something special for her, so I made a phone call and I said, is there any way she still could be granted a wish? And the North Dakota Make-A-Wish team were amazing, and they said, absolutely. And so our wish grant began. And they didn't have very much time, I'm going to tell you that. We really only had a few days to pull it together, but they did it. And I'd be happy to share what we did and how we did it. And Thanksgiving was very important for Emmy. In fact, it was her family holiday. We oftentimes would go back to Nebraska and spend time with all the cousins, and so Thanksgiving was it. Christmas was important, but Thanksgiving was her thing. And so I just simply said, could we do one final Thanksgiving? And so a few family members were able to be flown in. We gathered into Emma's hospital. The University of Minnesota Children's Masonic was awesome in providing a facility for us to be able to gather about 60 people to come and say hello to Emma, to give them their fair wishes. And we brought her into the room via basically Zoom, if you will. And so we celebrated Thanksgiving one final time on November 14th.
Thank you so much for sharing that story. And Billy Joe, hearing this story, how can people help support this and you know, also make things happen, you know, be a memory maker?
Yeah, you know, when a child is diagnosed like Emma so quickly, a lot of decisions are taken away from them. You know,
Yeah.
you can't decide, you don't get to choose. And so help us, Make-A-Wish, give choices to children to make their wish come true and allow us in the lives of people like Becky and to Emma's life. We're just happy to do it, to be hope and memory makers. But people, we can't do that alone. We're a small and mighty team. We need people who can donate their hard-earned cash, donate miles to fly people if necessary, donate in-kind goods and services, be a volunteer. There are many ways, and we hopefully make it easy for you to be a part in making a difference.
Billy Joe, thank you so much. And of course, Becky, thank you so much for sharing your story and continuing. I know your daughter would be proud of you right now and sharing her story and encouraging others
She would.
to support this too. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
We'll be right back.